Good morning. Well, I guess it's almost 4 a.m. I got up at 3 and I went out and filled the three spots where the deer eat. And they'd eaten everything last night. They must be very hungry because we got a foot of snow. And then yesterday it got warm enough to melt a crust on top. But the deer came and they completely emptied the bowl out here and a spot out on the shady deck. There's two spots out there where I feed them now, and both of them were cleaned off. I don't know if it was the same deer that ate everything, but I would think there was enough smell to draw more than one deer. I like the idea of having a lot of deer that come and eat. I used to film them. I used to go upstairs and watch them. I would watch them when we had a loft up there. I would go up and sit up there and look out the window at them. And now we have a roof over that deck, and so you don't have the same opportunity to look at them from up there. It's negative 16 out, so it's above 0 Fahrenheit. And and the moon is so huge out there tonight. I looked out and it was so bright outside. I have a light shining out there right now, so it's brighter than it would be. But of course I had to put a light on so that I could sit here and look outside and be able to talk to you at the same time. Hello, one person. Good morning. So I went out and I gave them each spot more food. And as I walked on the deck, it banged. You know, you'd step on a few boards, and when it's really cold, they shrink and they bang as you walk on them. And then the snow that was on them, the bit that's always left under the snowblower, was ice, and so it also was cracking under my feet. Hello, two people. Good morning. Are you up early or can't sleep, or is this your general time of day? Are you from far and away? Hey, kitty. Want to sit on my lap? So yesterday we had a couple come over, and he was very active in the scouting program. Our church was very involved with scouts all over the world, and or at least all over this continent. And I guess it's worldwide. Yeah, so it'd be all over the world. Anyway, he was very active with the scouting program, and so he knows millions of knots. And he's built many kinds of shelters with the Boy Scouts. So it was really cool yesterday to show them my grass huts. It was very nice. It was good to have people around that were interested and that familiar with that sort of stuff. It was really cool. It's being a novelty it's okay, but having somebody else that really understands and appreciates it and can give me pointers, it's cool. Anyway, so that was good, and we got to go snowshoeing. We went around the moat. It was interesting how the snow was a foot deep in places, and then some places it was nothing, and there was ice down there. So I guess sometime between when the foot of snow fell, or maybe while it was falling, there was water beneath some open water, which was soaking up all the snow that fell in it and leaving little valleys and holes. which made it kind of, um, you were walking on flat snow a foot deep, and then all of a sudden it's down to nothing. And it's kind of a little climb to get down there and up. But you want to avoid it. You don't know. But it was negative 30 just 2 days ago, or 3 days ago now. So once the cold is on its way in, it takes a lot longer to thaw than it does to freeze. So it would be frozen very deeply. The frost goes down deeply. Oh, I was going to talk to you about napping. Hello, one person with a thumbs up. So the other day, I was sitting in front of the screen and I was dozing off, and I thought, this is silly. I'm going to go lie down. And so I went and laid down. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe it was 4. I'm not sure. But I didn't wake up. I had a solid sleep, and I didn't wake up until 8, and I realized I was having a nap. But you know what happened? When I sleep, it resets everything. My whole body resets. The pain is gone, most of the pain, and I have energy again. You see, I have energy when I get up. It's first thing in the morning. I have lots of energy. Anyway, and I realized as I was sitting around that, excuse me, that I was going to have people coming over the next day and go snowshoeing, and they were going to come at noon, or afternoon. So I thought, um, if I'm going to have this huge mess and clean this huge mess in the morning when I have energy, then when they come to snowshoe, I will really be wiped out. And so um, at 8 o'clock at night, I had energy because I had just slept for 4 hours. And I was able to clean the whole house and vacuum and sweep and vacuum and blow. And then I worked on my loom. I don't really like sitting down. Once I'm sitting down, it's a lot of trouble to get up. And so I prepared a whole lot of fleece to weave. And then I went to bed. But Willem had gone to bed first. And then I went to bed after. And it's not good for me to go to bed after him, because if I'm alone, I can fall right asleep. But when he's there, I'm aware of him, and he moves about, and I always wonder if I'm waking him up. But even if I'm not waking him up, if I know I'm not, I still have a hard time falling asleep. Anyway, so I went to bed at 2, I guess. And I realized I was still awake at 3. But then I knew I could sleep in the morning, so I slept in until, I guess it was 8, and Willem was up already. He doesn't usually get up that early. And I guess I slept a little longer. But anyway, when I got up, my house was all clean. Isn't that neat to wake up to a clean house? And of course, I want to keep it clean. So every time one thing is out of place, I'm trying to put it away. And which works for a while, but I'm sure it will stop working. Hey, kitty. You didn't want to sit on my lap, eh? You changed your mind? I can really feel cold air between me and the door here, in the back of my hand. So I was out there this morning, going around and around, filling up these or putting a bowls of deer feed out. You know, yesterday she said that she got the prompting to plant mushrooms under in the shade under trees. She was like, "Whoa, no way, that will work." And so she did. She took her mushrooms from the grocery store even, and she cut the tops off and put them on a piece of paper, and the spores dropped down, but in this case they were invisible. And then she followed the directions and she took the paper, turned it upside down, and rubbed it on the soil. And she got a huge crop of mushrooms. And there were other edible mushrooms that also grew. Unbelievable. So I realized that I need to do that. I have a lot of places where it's shady, and she was doing it under the blue spruce tree. Well, I have a lot of spruce trees. Anyway, but they can't get any sunlight at all. So I'm going to do it where there is no sunlight. We've got lots of forest here. And also the deck, behind. Anyway, what a good idea to grow mushrooms. And to get them from the grocery store and do it that way. It was pretty cool. You inoculate the ground when you put the mushroom spores on the ground like that. And I can see now where I put them before wasn't shady all day. It got sun early in the day, got a bit of sun. Anyway, so that didn't work. Anyway, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it again. So today or yesterday, before they came, I cleaned out under the piano, so it's clean under there. There's nothing under there now. Amazing. And I excuse me. And I realized that I might have used up my energy. And so about 12:15, I lay down for half an hour. And I was a little bit groggy when I got up, just a little bit. I had Willem wake me up when they got here. And so when they got here, I got up. But I had energy all afternoon. We walked around the moat and we went up to the new grass hut teepee and sat in there for a while and chatted. And then we walked through to the dam. And we didn't stop at the dam because there was only one chair. We went to the dam and then we went through the woods into the bridge and across, and we sat in the A-frame for a few minutes. And then we went through to the main Sedge Meadow teepee, the grass hut, and we sat in there. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to remove the doorway to get it open, but I did. I didn't put it back because everybody was behind me and we were on snowshoes. So I'll go back down there and close it up again. But it was very nice in there. It was very calm and mild, and it was really nice. Willem lay in the hammock, and those guys sat on the cattail mattress on the side on the bench, and then I sat in the glider. What a wonderful time that was. It was really good. But I had energy. And then when we got back here, it was time to meet the kids. And we had a good time. I had energy. I've learned that I can lay down in my bed and play with them. They'll climb on me and I'll reach my legs up and there'll be airplanes on my feet. And then dump over and fall on the bed. But we had a good time, and then I got blindfolded, and then I was moving my arms and moving my legs. I said, it's like a parkour. You have to see if you can climb over me and go under my legs without me finding out. And I would grab somebody and I say, oh, this is you. Oh, that's you. You know. Anyway, but I had energy, which was really surprised me. Because I didn't think I was going to have any energy at that time of day. But laying down, it's a real wonder what napping can do. Just a short nap. You know, it resets your energy level. Yay! Now I can accomplish twice as much in a day. Really bothered me that I would be out of energy at noon. And I could not really do anything else. I would sit in my chair. Oh, good morning, John. Hi, Nancy. Bud. How is you doing this morning? Bud? I'm a bud? You're so funny. Wrong generation. Wrong sex. Oh well, what do I know? Times change. Oh, I'm a bud. Okay. Anyway, so I really realized the joy of napping and the wonders of it, that you can actually reset your circadian rhythm and have another whole influx of natural energy without any mental to do about, not thinking you're tired. When your body is just flat out won't move. Of course, a lot of it is mental. A lot of it if you've got something to do. Anyway, isn't that cool? So I have learned, so I'm 67, and now I'm going to start taking naps every day. And then I'm not going to worry about going to bed at bedtime. I'm going to have a later bedtime and a later getting up time. I am yawning. So good morning, everybody. Are you people can't sleep? Is that what's going on here? Up in the middle of the night, unable to sleep? The full moon brought me up. I looked out the window and it was so bright. The snow reflects when you've got the moon up there. It's wonderful. The snow is so bright and white. And it's just like from the thing before Christmas, was the night before Christmas. It's really the moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. Anyway, so I went out, enjoyed walking around the deck a couple times. It's -16 out there, so it's pretty cold. The cat was out too. He's fast asleep now. He's out like a light. It's so nice to wake up and have a clean house. And I if I do something strenuous in the morning, I really have not, excuse me, wow, that's a lot of yawning. I have not been able to do anything afterwards. I just really sit and eat. Sit and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Try and make these instant pots full of vegetables. Yesterday I cooked up my lentil recipe. Yesterday was I turned on the Instant Pot and I sauteed some onions, a whole bunch of onions. There was a lot of them in there. And then I added zucchini squash, which is dehydrated, and I crumpled it up and put that in. And then there was some dehydrated green beans that Willem had powdered to use in a smoothie. So I took about a tablespoon of that and broke it up and put it around. And then I used a package of carrots and I cut them on an angle. And then most of them, I have this potato peeler that has all these little lines across. So it cuts julienne, is that julienne? Where it's long skinny bits. Anyway, so I did the whole carrots up like that, and then the pieces that were left I cut on a diagonal. And I found hen of the woods, and I put hen of the woods mushrooms in. I crumpled them up too, and it was so good when you bit on them. They really were flavorful. They weren't like the mushrooms that you have in a can, which are kind of, they're not quite tough, but they're sort of tough, you know? Show you outside. There's no, this is because I've got that light on out there. Isn't that beautiful? But there's no snow on the trees anymore. There's a little bit over there. I should feed the deer right here. I love looking out here. It's beautiful. Anyway, so that was what I had to say about the joy of a nap. Napping really is, I only laid down for half an hour yesterday, but I had a lot of energy afterwards. And even in the evening, I didn't feel like watching television or YouTube or whatever it's called, a smart TV, but I lay on the couch facing the other direction and wrote in my journal. That was good. I love journaling. Yeah, it was interesting meeting this friend who also journals, who also sees visual pictures and answers to questions. You know, you get a question and you look and ponder it, and then you get this picture in your head. Like, to me, that's from God. And that happens the same. And 5 kids like we raised, and loves snowshoeing, and is also a bit lazy. You know, it was really good. And although she doesn't make grass huts, she's very familiar with all that stuff, having been married to her husband, who has always been doing this stuff with the Scouts for years. It was just so nice to meet people that I don't like being so different, you know? Of course, you know, she saw my basket stuff over on the table, you know, that's to make my birch bark baskets, which I haven't sat down to do yet. I did go through it and start, but anyway, she looked at it and she said, "Oh, it looks like a lot of work." But it was really fun. I mean, this is an answer to prayer. I wanted somebody who would want to do stuff like I do, or, you know, and to go snowshoeing with other people. It was really fun. I mean, of course, we made a wonderful track. 3 sets of snowshoes beating it down, and Willem followed behind in his boots. I have those mucklucks I got a few years ago, and so he was in the mucklucks, and he was walking at the back, so he would have the best packed snow. He still went in a few inches because it's a foot of snow, you know, but we packed it down probably about 5 inches. It was so neat that the deer came last night and ate all that stuff. I'd like to see the deer again. I haven't seen them for years. Well, a couple years. I guess I saw some last year, but only one, and only sometimes. The light goes on outside when the deer comes. So I'll lay in bed, and when I notice the light come on, I don't know why I wake up. Maybe it's a blessing. And I see the deer out there, but if I put my glasses on, he sees a reflection of my glasses and it spooks him. You have to be careful about the sounds you make around the deer. High-pitched sounds are not are not a problem, but but um, low sounds scare the deer because it's like a growl. The wolves, coyotes. Oh, so it's 4:30. I guess I should go back to bed. I could, but I have all this energy now. But it's nice to be up in the middle of the night. I have a 9 o'clock appointment to get my car fixed. After they did the catalytic converter, I don't think they did the muffler. And so there's quite a muffler rattle going on. I suspect it has something to do with removing the old catalytic converter and connecting the new one. It probably didn't connect very well, you know? Oh, and Willem went down to the studio and retrieved my drill. And after it was -30, the battery should be empty, but I let it warm up a bit and the battery was fine. Why is it that they say to store batteries in the freezer? If when you put them in the freezer, they get dead. Like when you go outside, they die when it gets too much when they get too cold. Batteries always die. Your phone dies, everything dies. Anyway, yeah, I guess I should get some more sleep. I went to bed at 9, but I was still up at 10. I'm always up at after about an hour later. I lay in bed and I read the news and I check up on my friends and message people. Talk to my daughter. The schedule changes every week when I have the children. I love those children. They're so much fun. They were both having competitions touching the ceiling last night with the swings. There's a swing in each doorway there, right? So, they were counting, and I think they touched it 20 times. It was pretty amazing that they could go up that high on these swings. You know? I'm going to mark the ceiling. I've marked it where one granddaughter touches it with the ceiling, on the ceiling. I'll mark it where he does too. Good morning. Hi, how are you doing? It is still live, yep. Hi, Mary Jane. Nice to see you. How come you're up? You're not supposed to be awake. It's 4:30. You don't get up till this time. So we're coming over not tomorrow, today, but tomorrow. And then we'll go there to the temple on Thursday, and I think we'll probably get a hotel, and we'll stay overnight and go to the temple again on Friday. Friday is supposed to be snow, so we may end up having to stay in a hotel Friday night. But I think it's only going to be snow. Everywhere from Kingston to Toronto is rain. I mean, not snow. We don't call ourselves Mormons anymore. We call ourselves members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because Jesus Christ is a central part of our worship. And to leave him out of the name of the church, we never made up the name Mormon. That was made up by other people. Because the ancient history that an ancient prophet Mormon abridged that has his name on the book. So wasn't that something? This earthquake in Turkey yesterday, did you see that? 7.8, and 1,000 buildings, high-rise buildings collapsed in the night. usually when things happen and millions of, you know, all these, usually people are up or out and in the daytime. My daughter just messaged me, my other daughter. She's up in the middle of the night too. What's with that? Or maybe it just sent. It's possible. They live off grid, you know. So, shall we have a prayer? Haven't had a prayer yet today. Let's have a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful moonlight tonight. It's so gorgeous outside. Thank you for blessing me that the deer came and ate all the food and that I have more food to put out for them. Please bless them and take care of them and help them not to starve while the snow is deep. Thank you so much for blessing me with this opportunity to connect to other people and make videos. And thank you so much for learning about naps and for learning that I can have so much energy if I take a nap. Unbelievable. I had no idea. And please bless all those people in Turkey that are left after these 1,000 buildings collapsed like cement pancakes. Please bless all those who are left grieving all their families and friends and the entire towns and neighborhoods. What a tragic situation it is for those who are left. And please bless us that we might be able to do what we can to help them, that we might also take refugees, people who have to flee for whatever reason. Help us to have open hearts and homes and minds and purses that we can help with the resettlement that is so much going on the earth now. And please also bless those poor people in the Ukraine who can't leave and whose towns are also being blown to smithereens. Please bless those that survive. Bless them that they may have the will to carry on, that they may have hope and faith, and in spite of all the negative disaster and destruction around them. And please help us to help them. And bless all those who can't sleep. Help them to be able to have peace in their minds and to be able to let go of all the stresses that go round and round in their minds when they're trying to sleep and that wake them up. Please bless us all that we may see thy hand in our lives. We may see the great blessings which are ours all around us. We have so much. We have warmth and shelter. And there's so many out there now that are homeless. There's so many in all sorts of cities. Please bless them. Bless them that they may be the recipients of great love and that their lives might be touched because of the reaching out of the people around. And that we might not judge them, but that we might help them. And we're so grateful to thee for being mindful of us and listening to us when we talk to thee. We're so grateful that thou art there no matter what state we are in, no matter what we're doing, and that thou loves us so much in spite of everything, and that forgiveness is so plentiful. We're so grateful to thee for the gospel, and we're grateful for all those that bring light to the world, all those that spread smiles and happiness, and these things we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. There we go. Now now I'm ready for the day. I love praying. I love talking to Heavenly Father. He's an awesome Heavenly Father. He's an awesome God. So many blessings. Once you start noticing the blessings that you have, all you have to do is compare yourself to somebody less fortunate. and you can see how many blessings you have. But for the grace of God, there go I. You know, it could have been us. That 7.8 earthquake could have been here, and there could have been 1,000 buildings collapsed right here. We always think that it's not going to happen to me. I always thought that, and my son got schizophrenia. What a life sentence! Oh my gosh, what a half-life he has to live. However, I don't know what it's like, and maybe there is joy that he finds in his life. I can't imagine. I can't imagine it, and I never thought it would happen to me. But you know, he got some street drugs in San Francisco, and that was the end of his brain. That was it. And of course, it'll never happen to me. But you know, you think that think these things won't happen to you. I remember when I was driving a school bus, and oh, hi, Susan. Good morning. You're up early. I guess we got a party going on here. We got Mary Jane, and we got you, and I don't know. I guess there's a John here, and I don't know who else is here. But do you ever take naps, Susan? I really learned something when I napped. I really had a wonderful time after I got up. I was surprised at how abundant my energy was. I was really amazed. Hi, Tyler. Nancy. Oh, Nancy took a couple days off and now you're fully charged, ready to go. I just fall asleep at weird times. Well, I didn't take a day off, or 2 days off. What did I do? Well, Sunday, I napped, and I got up after 4 hours of napping, and I had so much energy. I cleaned the whole house, and then yesterday, I did some more in the morning. I did under the piano. I kept being prompted to turn on the video, and it was just never convenient. I just never got around to it. I worked under the piano, and I sorted it, and I had all this homespun wool that was cut, lots of pieces, and it was a big mess. So I had to roll it up. I found a spot to sit outside in the sun. I put a chair out over by the woodshed. There's a spot where the sun was coming in. It was quite windy, but it was okay out there in the shade, or in the what's it called? Not shade from the wind, windbreak. It was there's a word for that, isn't there? It must be a word for that. There's a word for everything. In the protection of the woodshed, is there not one word? What would it be? When the wind is blowing and you've got a spot where the wind can't get you. It's not like shade. What is it? Oh well. Yeah, but I have been successful in uploading these videos. One video yesterday on cleaning the studio. The studio had not been tidied up. And now it's really beautiful there. I took someone in there yesterday, and you could really appreciate the windows and seeing outside, because the windows were clean and the whole room was clean. I mean, I'd vacuumed in there. Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you, Tyler, do you work in a casino with your event planning? I was thinking about that. Where in Las Vegas do you live, and what kind of people are you around? And what's it like in a casino? I'm not yawning. I've already done some yawning. Oh, but I can abide you in that. Just a moment. No, it won't happen. Oh, there it is. I used to yawn in my videos all the time. Remember that? Years ago, I'd be down at Grandma's cottage, yawning away. And people would say that I make them yawn. I put them to sleep because of all my yawning I do. You know, I put this tape in here, and now I can feel the cold through. Oh, shelter in this. Thank you. Thank you. My words are losing, and I'm wondering if I'm getting dementia. I wonder if this is early onset dementia. But I've always had nownaphasia. I've always called the refrigerator the washing machine, or the freezer the refrigerator, or the counter the table, or, the family room the kitchen. I just always get it all wrong. It's normal. But to not be able to find words, that's a little different. Oh well, there's no end to the anatomy lessons. Oh, so I was telling you about this crock pot thing I made yesterday, this Instant Pot. So I used olive oil. My doctor says that I have coronary heart disease. Can you imagine? And that's because I had a heart attack 15 years ago. Was it 15 now? I don't know. But I remember being in the bed in the hospital, and my daughter asked if she could bring me anything. And I said, "Oh, can you bring me a box of ice cream sandwiches?" And so she did, and I tucked them under the covers. A convention center and some casinos setting up and tearing out. Two mentions. Tearing out. I don't know. You told me what that meant the other day. Tearing out. It's probably a local word, a local phrase. Tearing out is like ripping a page out of a book. Hey, did you know that if you blow on the top of the page and go like this and go, it really sounds like you're ripping a page out of a book. Let me show you. You can try this on somebody. Oh my gosh, this was given to my mother. This book was won by Princess Pat at Lakeville Horse Show, August 1938. Oh my gosh. Look at how old this book is. But anyway, if you blow down the top of a page, you don't rip it, you just blow. Look at that. We have junk. I have a plague of those mealy bugs. They love all of the wool, right? Anyway, so you go and you pull your fingers down as if you're ripping the page, but you don't. I'll have to read this book. It was given to Princess Pat. Oh, Jack is here. Good morning, Jack. How's everything over there in the big UK? Are you having some cold weather? I haven't even noticed the weather over there lately. I know you were having a very warm winter. Unseasonably warm. We're supposed to have our seasons, right? I'm going to turn off this fan because it's there. I think the sound stopped. Ooh, it's cold. I'm going to turn up the heat in here. Ta-da. Maybe I'll just sit here in front of the heat. I'll turn on the light in here so we can still talk. Ha 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 ha. This is the life. I'll turn my chair around, face it right here to the wall, and the heat will just come right down on me. Come on, turn around. There it is. Ta-da! Toasty warm and nice view out there. Bit of reflection of the curtains and the inside of the house. Oh, my snowshoes are still standing out there. Those bindings are kind of ruining my snowshoes. I have 3 pairs of those old snowshoes. I guess I found 2 at garage sales or something for $20, and my cousin Mary sent me one. Oh my, what does this say? Caution, high temperature, risk of fire, keep electrical cords, drapery. What is it? Finsking? What does this say? Funisking and other what is funisking? F-U-N-I-S-K-I-N-G. Funisking. I've never read all this. Turn around. Funisking and other combustibles at least 3 feet away from front of the heater and away from the side and rear of the heater. Garder les matériaux combustibles. That's all the French. Boy, it takes a lot of French to say, oh, it's cold today, eh? Have installed by a certified electrician. Household use only. Use only on 15A or 20A branch circuit. This is supposed to have a dial here, but it's up on the wall instead. Oh, is it warm? Oh, so nice. So I hung up this thing. You see that? That is a labyrinth. The stem is where you enter in. I made it out of pottery, and it says ever far. That was the name of my labyrinth. Do you remember that? Do you ever look up these videos when I tell you a video that, you know, ever far labyrinth? I've got lots of videos of that. When I planted thyme in circles. Oh yes, Jumbles has already been out. Chumbles, sorry. I know it changes it to Jumbles whenever you say it, whenever you write it. But yes, he was outside earlier with me. Oh, you do? You look them up. That's cool. That's cool. It's a shame that there are so many that the algorithm doesn't show them anymore. Can you find the playlists also? Can you, like there's 500 playlists or more. I think that sometimes I can see the playlists on my laptop if I'm searching through my own stuff, right? To video editor. I have such great books. You want to look at these books? These books here are on gourds. Oh, there's pyrography. Gourd pyrography. I'd like to do some more pyrography. I have about 20 gourds. Look at this. Oh, they're using a burned piece. Oh, look at this picture. Wow. I guess it's kind of like coloring in a cartoon, like a coloring book. Look at this. I love frogs. Do you remember the frog I made with pottery? Look at that. You know, you ever see these, it always says that much and that much in Canada? Well, we get the that much in Canada. That's what the books always cost for us. But this one was marked down. So it's time to use it, don't you think? Look at this. I have a gourd like this down at the Grass Hut settlement, and it's quite bigger. It's a loopy gourd. I mean, it's got a hole there, and then it's got a hole in the top. It's a very long handle, and I can just take it and dip it down into the water, into the stream, and it fills up. These are quite detailed. My stepdaughter, well, I don't usually call them step, but she gave me a pyrography iron one year, or wood burning tool. But this is just design. It's just little lines done with the. Isn't that neat? Now, I wouldn't mind sitting around doing this. You have to have electricity unless you can do it with coal. My daughter and I were looking at gourd videos from Mali. So these folks are doing it here. Now, she's not doing it with a electrical tool. That's interesting. What is she using? In Senegal, adjust the fire source when decorating a large bowl-shaped gourd. Interesting. So she's doing all this with actual sticks with a bit of coal on the end. So I could do this at a campfire. Oh, she's using a hot metal rod. Interesting. Interesting. So you could do it without electricity. Of course, you should be able to do things like this without electricity, but in our modern stuff, we don't think about those anymore. From New Guinea, pyrography artists use the midrib of the sago palm leaf, stripped of its leaflets and set on fire. Once caught, the artist blows out the flame and brings the glowing ember on the end of the wood-like rib close to the gourd's surface. By blowing on the hot ember, the artist scorches an area of the gourd. The artist paints an area with heat on the gourd, then carves through the blackened area to create a design. Interesting. Gourds, scorched gourds from Peru. Wow, look at this. So what are they using for a tool here? In the Andean village of Cochas, Peru, Huanca Indians trade for gourds, which are transported 1,000 miles from the arid coast when they are first grown. The gourd artist carves a gourd with a burin, usually without any preliminary sketching. A burin is a sharpened nail set into a block of wood for a handle. To color the design, the artist lights a eucalyptus stick with fire. When it's burning well, the artist extinguishes the flame and places the red-hot embers next to the design and blows on the embers to maintain the temperature. The artist can create colors from light tan to reddish brown to black, depending on how close the burning ember is to the gourd's surface and how hard he blows on the embers. Later, to create a bas relief effect, some of the undecorated gourd surface is chiseled away, leaving two surface layers for the foreground and background. Isn't that interesting? So I wonder if I could use just a piece of maple. I have enough hobbies already. Well, this is one of my hobbies. If you've noticed, I've got lots of gourd stuff happening here. Let me go show you the one over here. I love this gourd. This one is a campfire. Let me see if I can move this and still see it. There's gourds in the bathroom. Are there any up there? No. Yeah. I don't have too many hobbies. I have interests. I'm just a curious person. And I think when you're curious, I was noticing this the other day. This is made out of pine needles. I made this when I was sitting up in a at my mother's in Georgia. I was getting the oil changed. Do you remember that? That's a video on that. And I wove that. And there's another one. Hi, kitty. Another one up here. This was after we went to Florida, to the coast. Mary and I went down there to see what had happened after the Katrina or the BP. Anyway, and so I got that big shell from there. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, look, my eye. Hello, I'm looking right at you. I've realized that I can feel my wrinkles with my fingernail. Didn't realize that before. I'm learning many things. This is just a little experiment I'm doing to see if I can get the wrinkles to go, just to calm down. Oh well. Let's look at this book again. So I wonder if I could use a piece of maple stick. I know maple holds the heat very well. I can't find my pyrography, my wood burning tool at the moment. Now this has been opened. This is cut there, so that's a lid. Acorn-shaped gourd with flowers and a removable lid. See, I could do flowers. That's pretty simple for me. This other stuff is pretty complicated. Now this is, today many Peruvian artists use mini butane torches for scorching because of their convenience. Like this one used by American artist Ginger Summit. Hey, this would be a reason to go down and light a campfire. But you know, I could do this. I guess I could do it from the wood stove, but I would rather not play with fire in the house. So my tool, I guess it's like this. Some people use Dremels, solid wood burning tip. Yeah, I think that's down in the studio with the stained glass stuff. So that's like the one I have for dipping water. It's got a hole up here, and it's got a hole in the side. So you push it into the stream vertically, it fills with water, and the air comes out the top. And then to drink it, you can just keep it standing upright when you're not drinking it, and then you just pour it from the top into your mouth. So first you start off with a gourd that looks pretty bad. They get really, and you use this. I use bleach. I put it in bleach and I scratch it off like that. But if you want to paint it, you have to do more to it than just that. The defect in this gourd becomes the center of a magnolia flower design. So what happens? Oh, look at what they've done here. Interesting. So, So we're not talking about napping anymore. We've moved on. So when you have all the stuff on the gourd, it does leave a pattern. And so if you can use that pattern to work with. Here they've scraped it. Green Martin House. Using a bone awl. I thought an awl was like a pick. Most people are very sensitive to the dust. Instead of using tape to hold back your skin, fill in the cracks with epoxy. Oh, Tyler, you have a great sense of humor. You know, changing what you're doing gives you energy. If you continue to just do the same thing over and over and over, like making baskets, at some point it's not new and it's not exciting and you're not learning. You're learning a little bit, but when you change mediums, an artist needs to have an outlet, needs to have something not only that they're learning, but something that they can find joy in having done it. It would be interesting to take a gourd like that one and carve around the edge of the painting. Anyway, I'll figure it out. So let's see now. Let's have a look at what they're telling us here. I like to read the pictures. You clean the hot chip with a, what is that called? It's not steel wool, a scouring pad. That's it. I could do something like that. Learning the craft, pyrography art, pear-shaped sampler. So before you begin, seal the stem tip to prevent it from stripping or fizzing. Seal it. Use the flat side of the standard tip of the hot tool to burn the cut edge of the stem. Interesting. 2. To create an arrow point pattern, push the hot tip tool bevel side up into the gourd, then rock the tip up to lengthen the arrow pattern you've created. Oh yes, like that. Beginning in the arrow point, use the bevel side down with the blade flat against the gourd and draw a line to the stem. So they're giving you exactly the pattern you're making. 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I tried to do this one. I think I have a gourd with this pattern on it. This is pretty cool. If you can follow the entire thing along and just do exactly what they've done, in the end, you'll have a pattern. I think I did this. $35, $34, oh, $33. That 3 looks like a 5, doesn't it? $33. And it just continues on. Oh, yes. And I did a wolf on one. A lot of glare here. This is upstairs. I have a couple of them upstairs. A tall sampler. How cool to have it from beginning to end. Just one step at a time. This book is called Gourd Pyrography by Jim Wides. Jim Wides is an awesome guy. He's a basket maker as well. I have books by him up here. Basket making. I wonder where they are. Whatever. Ah, a frog. Now this one is cut out, isn't it? Hot burning tool, standard tip, razor tip. Removing the top. Use pencil, X-Acto, and mini jigsaw. This is a very thick gourd. Look at how thick that is. Many people are highly allergic to gourd guts. Be sure to wear a dust mask when cleaning inside the gourd. You may also dampen the gourd's insides to keep the dust from becoming airborne. Save those seeds. You can plant them. Maybe you don't have enough season to grow the gourds. I don't know. Oh, this is the frog, right. This is cool. It's one step at a time. Oh, she starts by making a circle. Concentric circles are drawn and burned in with a hot tool. After burning in the design, erase the pencil eyes, otherwise they'll show. Oh, so it's, oh, I see, so this is painted. Now, when you want to paint it, to paint the gourd, use a fine brush and acrylic paint and brush away from the burned lines. Use a soft cotton cloth to remove unwanted paint. You can also remove paint with a dry, short bristle brush that absorbs paint. A moistened soft cloth removes the last of the paint. Reddish leather dye is painted around the salamander. Interesting. Oh, and this one is taking the top off. What is that? Oh, it's a dog. After drawing the scene in pencil, I use the hot tool with a needle tip to lightly follow every line. I hold the tool like a sketching pencil and try not to make any solid lines with this first burning. Try not to make any solid lines, okay. Holding the tool very close to the gourd surface, perpendicular to the line, and barely touching the first 1/8 inch of the tip into the gourd, just enough to cause a light burn. I begin to skim over the penciled lines. The natural unevenness of the gourd surface creates a stippled look to the burned outlines. If I'm certain that an area will later require dark shading, or if an object needs a hard line, I make a solid, thin burn line. The fishbowl was started with a solid line. For this kind of line, I keep the tool going in the same direction as a penciled line. Tilt the tip more toward the gourd, and on and on and on. Oh, I see. So this is the beginning. It's all the same one? No, this is a woman looking that way. And here she is looking this way. Oh, I see. This is beside the woman. There she is again. Oh, with a fish in a fishbowl. And there's the other one looking. I guess this is a man and a woman. Interesting. Friendly advice. And this was called Kissing Fields. Very interesting, isn't it? This is the final product. And this is going to be the final product over here. And this is how to do it. Hard to do it without a glare. The white snow. Burning tool, razor tip number 50. Is that 1S or 15? Oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? So you just cut out squares, it appears. You cut out squares and then you draw across the squares and shade it so it looks like one is under the other. Isn't that neat? Cattail bowl. I love cattails. A horse dipper. Interesting. Oh, you could stencil it on if you wanted to. So she's got the stencil pattern. Place the photocopied designer image face down against the gourd. Heat the back of the design with the hot tool transfer tip. Carefully peel the paper from part of the gourd to make sure that the image has been transferred. If you find areas with no image transfer, lay the paper design back in its original place and again go over the area to make sure that the whole design transfers onto the gourd. You'll need to apply pressure with the transfer tip. You know, graphite paper between the paper design. Well, see, that's what we would use as carbon paper. Remember back in the day when you could buy carbon paper? Again, go over the graphite image with a pencil to make sure the lines are more visible. So this is the stencil design. And there it is when you've taped it on. And then go over it all. Interesting. That's a cool idea. A horse. First you sketch it out. See, this then combines your ability to sketch or draw or paint with wood burning. Oh, this is actually on it, isn't it? It appears to be on it. Maybe not, though. Useful objects, as well as gourd earrings. Oh, those are birds walking. Kind of interesting what you can do with a gourd. Very interesting. Try pine with lid and decorative string. Oh yeah, you know, it's cool to use the two mediums. You know, you can use the gourd and you can add weaving to it. So this has got she draws lines, holds a tip for shading, while burning for shading. For Celtic knot work, Scott uses the pointed end of the angle tip for line drawing. call her by her last name. Eagle spreading wings. So it's just like painting pictures, you know, you just have a different technique of getting it on there. Sorry about this light reflecting on everything. Look at those. I love painting irises. Inlay with figures and spears. Oh, yes, inlay. Inlay is interesting. I have one book over here about inlay. Inlace. Is that it? Inlace? Yes, resin inlay for gourd and wood crafts. What is inlace? Basic mixtures. Pre-mixed inlace colors. Inlace dyes. Metallic inlace dyes. Decorative materials. You get into a lot of store-bought stuff if you don't know how to do this from scratch, which I don't. But when we dug our pond, we found 5 different colors of sand. So you'd think that you could actually powder that and then melt it. Acetone. And lots of Dremel tools. Drill bits, masks, respirators, and safety goggles. The process, carving the gourd, selecting the perfect gourd. So you carve into it. And once it's all carved in, then you take your stuff. I wonder if you could use glue, like we've got some sparkly glue that kids do, and then you put it on there, and then you grind it. Buffing and polishing. So you end up with this. You end up with something like that. Very interesting, eh? Inlace, it's called. How not to teach an inlace class. Inlaid gourd bowl. It sure is pretty, isn't it? What if you could use colored sand? But you'd have to heat it to the temperature of melted glass. That's interesting, isn't it? Wow, look at this. Quite the thing, eh? Oh, look, you even got patterns. Trace them onto tracing paper and then trace them with a carbon copy. Who wrote this book? Betsy Sloan. Schiffer is a good one for a lot of these books. See, Schiffer has this one, gourd designs for gourd art. Now this one is multimedia, right? So they've cut the gourd and then they've got this coiled basketry happening on it. Coiled design for gourd art. See, you get into some pretty cool stuff here. Now this looks like it's just completely woven over it. Coiling is a basketry technique used originally by indigenous peoples the world over. Using grass, pine needles, long bladed leaves, bark strips, porcupine quills, bone slivers, and thorns were used as needles. Each core of material was wound tightly with thin strips of material that had been colored with plant and insect dyes. They were stitched through each successive coil, making these items became an additional source of income. So it looks like they're just using it. Oh, it's all the way through. So is it coiled designs for gourd art? So what is this? Let's hope they have a step-by-step thing in here too. Tools and brushes, materials, I mean. So I did that. I made a basket on top of a gourd. I don't know where that is anymore. I would like to just use my electric drill to make the holes. I was thinking of doing that on some of the birch bark too. Learning the basics. So they've got a cord going around and they just stitch it on. Coiling, you're supposed to cover up the core. I don't like covering it all up. I like the core. Oh, and then adding another one. It was really just coiled basketry. It's hard to find books on coiled basketry, you know. But you know what's fun is to go through a book and do every project in the book. Of course, not those other ones. Those were pretty time consuming, but you could do something like this. Projects. So here's another one. Same idea. I guess this is the finished gourd. So you've made a few coils on the top. You could do this with birch bark or any other basket too, you know. Now what is this? Freeform with bead accents. Are those beads? Painted warty gourd. Ah, it's a warty gourd with coiling and bead embellishments. Oh, I see. This is a big bead here. It's a warty gourd. Interesting. I've got gourds that have fallen and broken. So then you could use the gourd pieces too. So this is coiling here, but it's not. But see, this has just got a few stitches holding it together. Looks like it's coiled paper. Yeah, that's that paper stuff. Advanced set patterns. Ooh, my goodness. Ooh, this is beyond me. Maybe I should learn it. Oh, these are your coiling stitches. You see the stitch that I used up there is kind of like that or something like this. You can use this when you're making birch bark. I mean, when you're using pine needles. You need to use the long pine needles if possible. That's cool. They've got all the stitches there. This reminds me of the hemming stitch on the sewing machine, doesn't it? There's that other warty gourd again. Did they cut it into a flower shape? If you have seed cases, such as a jacaranda pods or deodar pine roses, drill small holes and thread fine gauge wire through. Add beads to cover the wire. Hey, that's interesting. You could attach stuff to the gourds, you know, like little pine cones and things. The angle of the coils can be sharp, straight up and down, or out, depending on how you control the core with your hands. That's interesting. Oh, it's a deer. Oh my gosh, the deer are here. Hi, dear. Hi, it's just me. Hi there. Wow, it's been a long time since I saw the deer. Look at that. Hello. Hey guys, just me. Hey there. See, now if I were sleeping in until it got light out, what would I be missing? Those big ears. It's really visible. Oh. Hello. Hello, it's just me. Wasn't sure he would come back tonight. Was it just one? Must be cold out there for him. Nothing to eat. He even came over when I was talking and reading this book to you. What a beautiful view. You can completely see him. Hey guys, just me. It's just me. They can hear everything. Can hear you talking, hear the heater go on. Can hear all the footsteps in the house. It kind of looks like a cow. Look what you guys get to see. Oh, what a blessing. So grateful. Hey there. Thank you, Heavenly Father. What an incredible blessing, eh? You have to be careful to keep your voice high, because a deep voice will scare them away like you're a wolf, like a growl or something. Does he have a chip out of his ear? What an amazing blessing to have deer come in the night. This is the first one I've seen this year. And you're here with me. I think I'll do more of this gourd art now. I think I'll get it together and do some pyrography and kitty, 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 kitty. Come to see the deer. Now, what are his markings? There are some deer that have come here over and over. Now, if you can see under his belly, if he's a male, there'll be some hairs sticking straight down in the middle. Or you can, of course, check for the width of his front legs and back legs. I gave 2 bowls of food in there. I've never had deer come here in the daytime. Scarlet's deer come in the daytime. And I wonder if he's alone. Usually deer are in groups. I don't see any other deer out there, do you? Just the one. Hey guy, it's just me. Yeah, it does look like his ear has been clipped or something has happened to it. Or maybe not. I was very surprised this morning when I got up at 4 and I think I got up at 3. I was very surprised when I went out in the moonlight and found that the deer had eaten all the contents of the bowl. I had it over here in front of the other window, but nothing had happened to it. I don't think they really like to come up on the deck. But I guess they will. It's so important not to have a dog. Are you getting this? Are you seeing that there's a deer here on the deck or eating off of the deck? Never fed them from this side before. Always just feed them where I can see them from bed. Hey there. He can see me in here because it's light inside. They're so cautious. Look at that. Wonder if you could still see him if I turn out the inside light. Probably not. That's probably the light that is illuminating it. It's hard on my neck to turn like this. Imagine that. Do you have deer, Susan? And Rose and Regina and Ellen. Gets to be pretty hard for them to find food in the winter. When there's a layer of ice on the bottom of the snow. If you look at the roof, there's 3 inches of ice under all that snow. So they can't really get through it to get at the green grass underneath it. The grass is still green under the snow. Isn't that funny? It's so beautiful. Looks like he's got very dark eyebrows, big eyebrow patches. We'll call him eyebrows. He's got very fuzzy inside of his ears. I have a lot of deer that have come over the years, and most of them are new. Remember when we had overbite or underbite? They have a black line around the end of their nose, and it usually goes straight down and under their bottom jaw. But one of them had the line was not like a ring. One part was set way back, so I called him underbite. I guess that might have been an overbite. I'll have to take a photo of this later when I'm not videoing them. Take a picture from the video. Looks quite young, doesn't he? Hi. Hello, it's just me. Hello. They hear everything. Everything is... A pine needle fell in the forest. The eagle saw it. The deer heard it, and the bear and the bear smelled it. It's pretty accurate, isn't it? Well, he certainly stole the show, didn't he? Here I was reading a book. They have such big, round, black eyes. They're very much like a cow. The shape of their face. A big forehead. Hi. It's okay, it's just me. Big, huge eyes. Look at the little bit of white on the top of his nose. His nose is buried in the bowl. It's one of those big round black bowls, 3 inches high or something. Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. Scarlett makes a point of moving around and talking when when the deer come to the door. Hi, that's okay, it's just me. It's okay. Boy, that licking the nose must freeze their nose right away. It's so cold out there. I'm glad I had deer feed on hand. This is what the bear didn't get in the summer. I moved my chair and he could see it. I have to turn my body a bit better. Hi, it's okay, it's just me. Oh, my hand is... It was a bad angle. Let's see if we can turn properly and look at him. I can't see him that way. I'm gonna see. Glad you're moving my chair back a little bit. It's okay, it's just me. Oh, he left. Darn, I'm sorry. It was hard on my neck. There he is over there. Hi. He's walking away. He's standing over there now. Hi. Hi, Guy. He ate it up. Guess he was pretty much done anyway. I think I'll turn on the light here. Let's see if he'll come back and I can see him better. Can't reach the light. There we go. He left, but he didn't run. Can't see where he is. Let's go look and see if they ate any on the other end of the house. Tulips are up. I should stoke the fire. I think I'm gonna go back to bed in a little while. Let's check this window here. Turn on the light. Did he eat it already? Can't see out there. Hey, what if I were to put let's try something different. Let's turn on the outside. I couldn't turn out the light because there wouldn't be any light shining out there, and then it would be dark and we couldn't see anything. Okay, let's turn on the outdoor light thing, and then, oh no, it's not in this one, it's over here. Is that the one? Maybe we have to turn this light on now so we can see this. All right. What does it say? Outside outlets. Luring plugs outlets. Spare. So let's see if it should have turned on the lights. I have them plugged in out here. The Christmas lights. See all that I got ready? So this one on that side is lit up, but this one on this side isn't. So the pile of food is just right out there. It's cold in here. Of course, I've been sitting in there right in front of the fire, in front of the heater. I think we should wash that window so we can see the firelight. Looking out that window out there. How come this is turned off? Critical low battery. Oh dear. Let's make sure it's plugged in properly. Nope, it isn't. I was trying to upload another video here. It's not in here, it's in the other room. Just make sure this is going 4%. Takes forever. I think it's up here. This is the one. And then we need a cloth. Oh, it turned on the light from the outside that's shining in those trees. This is vinegar. There. You fell back to sleep. Good job. You should sleep. It's nighttime. Can do a better job on that later. Yes, indeed, we can watch this. Wasn't that cool to see the deer? So thrilled. It's nice to watch the fire, isn't it? We should go upstairs and look at those gourds. See what I can do with them. You had the video playing while you fell asleep? You have to go zoom back and see the deer. He came to the window in the kitchen, the family room. He ate the whole bowl of food. Just one deer. Well, one deer I can save. The cold can get the deer, but it's not so cold every day. I think I have to go back to bed soon, don't I? Makes a difference when you do that to the window. Just squirt it with vinegar and wipe it off. Suddenly you have a nice clean window. I didn't do the edges because they were too dirty and I would just get my cloth filthy. It's time to close it. I wish you were here too. Wouldn't we have fun? This has, the heat does not come out of the sides of this because of the side panels. Those panels keep it so you can put it close to the wall and have other things close to it. Yes, we would. We would do all kinds of fun things. I was so surprised at how well we could see the deer. Even though we also had the reflection of the house, he was definitely there. You could really see his whole thing. I wonder if it was a male or female. It might have been a male. Females are usually in groups. They lose their antlers at this time of year. Tyler, your life in Las Vegas must be so different than my life here. My life is very quiet. It was so good to go snowshoeing with people yesterday. Yes, I wonder sometimes if it's the same one as before. But the last one was swallowtail. It had an image of a swallowtail butterfly on its forehead. One had a very dark face. Another one had white eye rings. This one didn't have eye rings. I don't think. I'll have to go back and look. That's interesting, Tyler. That's why you enjoy my country living. Yeah, I have no idea what it's like in a city anymore. Just going to Hawaii for a little while, we were in cities. Well, we were in one city, Lahaina. But most of the people there were tourists. This whole big apartment complex of condos, coconut condos, it was all rented out for tourists. And it was a property management group that did all the work. It wasn't a single owner. Boy, that looks like that's such a nice fire, doesn't it? very, very hot. Guess I should close the side now. See how quickly the wood is burned? Once you close the side, it stops going up the chimney. And now it'll pump it out into the room. But it's a bit hot, but not badly. These are things my grandson made. We should check and see if the deer has come out here. If he has, he won't like it if I come close to the door. And I fed him over there too, which we can't see from this window. And I'll show you under the piano. Look at that. Empty. Isn't that something? Pretty good. See, if I had turned out the light, we wouldn't have seen anything out there. But you can see a bit of the from this side. I guess the moon has set now. Oh, the neighbors' lights are on. So I was going to set up some shelves in the bathroom for the vitamins. I suppose I should take that down. Oh well. Yeah, I think it's time to go back to bed. So I'm gonna say goodnight. It's 6 o'clock, but I haven't had enough sleep, so I'm gonna go back to sleep for a couple of hours. Love you guys. Good night. Thanks for spending time with me.